Okay, I'm just putting the cameras on. I forgot to do that. I fell down a rabbit hole. Wait, oh crap, I didn't even put that one on. Hold on, it's going to be black in a second. Don't worry, it's not correct. My bad. Hold on, changing cameras. Okay, I put it to the fourth camera, and I apparently didn't have the camera turned on. My bad. That's what happens when you fall down the rabbit holes. That's I look for interesting things, and man, I find terrifying things. I just won't recount them because they're just. Who writes this stuff anyway? I just want to know. Good Lord. Journalism on the internet. It's a thing. It's a thing. How's everybody doing? August 13th. Wednesday the 13th. It is, let's see. It is National Filet Mignon and Prosecco Day. Well, I had to go do it. I could not Prosecco it, but I did filet mignon it. The Avenue Pub makes a really good filet mignon. Look at that. I got my favorite bread from there. I got a baked potato with all sorts of good stuff on it. And of course, I got the filet mignon. Because you know what? It's filet mignon day. Why not? And you got to treat yourself. It seems like you do that almost every day. Yeah, it's true. I forget this. I fall down the rabbit hole and it happens. But there you go. National Filet Mignon Day, and I filet mignon. Just didn't Prosecco it. Tomorrow is National Navajo Code Breakers Day and Creamsicle Day. I don't think I'll deal with any Navajo code breakers, but I might get a creamsicle. I can stop at Stoney's Market. Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Wednesday. It was warm again today. It was a hell of a day. Hey, have I showed you this before? Go check it out. All the episodes are out. We're trying to get new ones. I'm trying to get new ones. That's my goal. So you should assist me. So go watch them and make comments. I'm going to have to watch all of them again in series and see how they look together as a long thing. The long calendar, which, by the way, 3114 BC, August 13th, 3114, is the start of the Mayan calendar. Now, I guess it's three different calendars. It's the 260-day cycle calendar. It's the long calendar, the astronomical calendar, which is the days. And there was the third one. I forgot which one that was. That's like 5-day, 18-month calendar or something. That's all sorts of stuff. And, the world was supposed to end because the Mayan calendar had like 2012 in it or something, but it didn't. And it won't just because the Mayans said so. They didn't predict the future. It was just that they had a calendar that went way into the future. That's all. So we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Should have done pignon with filet mignon, all that stuff. None of the G's. Right. Yeah, you know how much Dom Perignon is? And I don't drink, so there you go. I'm not buying it. Okay. So speaking of horrible things, the only horrible thing I think I found was that in 1521, Hernan Cortez defeated and captured the general of, I forget who his name was. I'm saying it was horrifically butchered, so I'm not going to. But basically, the end of the Aztecs. That was the end of that. The conquistadors went and they killed the Aztecs, and that was the end of that. That's the end of the Aztecs. Thank you, Cortez the Killer. And Neil Young for writing a song about Cortez the Killer. And we talked about that last time with Neil Young. 1642, a Dutch astronomer, Charles Huygens, discovers the polar ice cap on Mars. He was an astronomer, so he had a telescope, and he saw that. And if you read anything on the internet, everyone's losing their mind over this interstellar object and how there's things hovering by the sun and extracting its energies and protecting us from aliens. And I just, wow. I'll see it when I believe it with my own eyes. I want to see that. But I don't really want to see the aliens because they're going to be like, are they going to be driving by and going, roll up the windows, that's Earth, what a shithole. Or they're just going to be like, well, we're just going to plunder your resources, and Porno for Pyro has said it will make good pets. We're the interstellar, zoo. Oh, that's the bad part of the galaxy. That's Earth. Roll up your windows. 1889. William Geary. He invents the payphone. He patents the payphone. Who knew that, right? Somebody had to do it. So that guy, he actually patented the payphone. 1889. So, bastard from Connecticut. And now we all pay for our phones. We pay for these things. This technological brick of wonder that we can't get away from us. That it's now attached to us. It steals our time, our soul, our freedoms. It tracks us. It finds what we buy and wants to tell us this. Oh, I saw something funny that was, I do have to see if this is true. I guess as part of the new regime of cracking down on everything that we need to, apparently if you want to go to Pornhub after September 29th, you're going to have to show an ID. So you'll be outed as going to internet sites that have adult content. Wow, Grok just released his new version of deep fakes that can show anybody naked pretty much, but you're going to have to show that you're 18 plus with an ID. I don't know how this is going to work, but this is going to be interesting to see in good old Ohio. So there you go, buddy. Crack it down. Crack it down. Let's get back to that Victorian age. Freedom. In 1913, the invention of stainless steel happened in Sheffield, England. I thought it would have been like, Pittsburgh, PA. No, Sheffield, England, where they make silver. Apparently this guy, Harry Borcher, invented stainless steel. It's interesting that stainless steel is so hard and it doesn't stain. But it does, you can get rust on it and it stains it. You have to scrub it off. But it doesn't rust, I guess, is the whole point of stainless steel. It's expensive, too. It's not cheap. Much more expensive than stuff. Carl Wickerman, he began the Greyhound bus line. I guess it was in Minnesota in 1914. I mean, it doesn't even, the guy wasn't like Carl Greyhound, which I was surprised by, because you would think that the Greyhound bus line would be a dude's name like Greyhound. But no, Carl Wickerman. 1918, BMW becomes a public company in Germany. Now, I thought it stood for Bavarian Motor Works. Apparently it does not. It is Bayerisch, which is Bayerisch, Bayerisch Motorn, Mortern Works, Werkze. So, not Bavarian, but Bayerisch Motor Works. So that's a new one on me. I didn't realize that. In 1923, U.S. Steel, on this day of stainless steel, it initiates the 8-hour workday. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So did they, were hours longer? I'm assuming they were. So I'm assuming that we're happy that U.S. Steel initiated the 8-hour workday. It's not the 12-hour workday. Or were we doing a 6-hour workday? And suddenly there's like, no, we want extra hours. I didn't look for that. I was going to see how that played out. What started it? Was there a longer day or a shorter day? I mean, if you're a farmer, it's a long day because you're up at the crack of dawn, feed the horses, plow the field, plant potatoes, water the crops, all that stuff. And then, you got to go to bed. But us, except for child labor working in the coal mines, which was, hey, get up, go work. Don't go to school, go work in the mines until all day. I don't know. You get up at 7, get home at 7? I don't know. I'm guessing there must have been something significant to that. I work more than an 8-hour day. Most of us probably do. 1935, roller derby starts in Chicago at the Chicago Coliseum. For what? It was the Transcontinental Roller Derby. So I don't understand what that is. If it's a transcontinental roller derby, then how did roller derby start if it was already the roller derby? You tell me that. There was a good movie, James Caan, Roller Ball. I think it was in the 70s. I don't remember when that was, but Roller Ball, that was interesting. We used to sponsor at the radio station the Roller Girls, which is Girls Roller Derby. I actually went and watched it a couple of times. That's awesome. I mean, if you've never seen Roller Derby, next time the Roller Derby, like Roller Girls are having a Roller Derby thing, go watch it. It's a few bucks to go see it, and it's pretty good. These girls kick some serious roller derby ass, like crashing the boards. It's like, all right, you got to dig that roller derby. I mean, who knew? It's such a thing, but I mean, it's very empowering. But yeah, we were happy to sponsor it. It was an awesome thing. So, roller derby, go attend roller derbyness. 1942, the Manhattan Project begins under the guidance of Leslie Groves. And now Matt Damon played him in the movie Oppenheimer. But I guess this guy was pretty interesting. I think they said it was a fairly good rendition of his character. He also designed the Pentagon. So this guy was big picture things. I mean, he did the whole Manhattan Project and he did the Pentagon design or production. So that's a pretty big job. So this guy is definitely a project manager. If you're managing projects of that size, then you definitely have some kunyokis. You got some balls there, dude. That's that man. Leslie Groves. Interesting. In 1952, Big Mama Thornton records Hound Dog, specifically written for her by Jeremy Lierber and Mike Stoller. Now, Elvis didn't do it until 1956. He got the song from her. I listened to Big Mama Thornton. It is not the same rendition of that as Elvis. I didn't read how or why it became a super popular hit when Elvis did it. It's just definitely more upbeat. The tempo is a lot faster. I don't know if he might have changed the lyrics a little bit. It seems like they did. I tried to listen to it. I only listened to it once. So I try to listen to the songs when I talk about songs and music. I try and find the song if I haven't heard it. What did I listen to that was earlier? It was something that was a Black Sabbath song, and I was like, oh, Mob Rules, the Mob Rules. That was a pretty good song. I've heard it, but I didn't really think I've heard it before. Listened intently to it, or at least it's been a really, really long time. 1956, the same day that Big Mama Thornton recorded Hound Dog, Elvis released Don't Be Cruel. A few years later. That's also the year that he recorded that song, but that's not when it was released, apparently, not at least on this day. Maybe it was released in this year, 1956, but not on this day, August 13th, just so it says. Longview, Texas, radio station KLUE, get a clue, is struck by lightning. Now, the only reason that this is significant is because it was one day after they did a protest and a Beatles burn-a-thon, like a burn the Beatles stuff. And they got struck by lightning the next day, causing extensive damage, taking them off the air and knocking the engineer unconscious, which I think it's just one of those ironic things, but maybe that was John Lennon saying, we're bigger than Jesus. Maybe that had something to do with it? I don't know. You tell me. Because he could have seen that and said, hey, that's why we're bigger than Jesus. Because we knocked the engineer out because they tried to burn our stuff. That seems reasonable. We got struck by lightning a few times at the radio station over the years. And yes, it always caused serious damage. I don't think we ever got struck by lightning where it was not a huge freaking problem. Lightning likes to blow things up when it strikes radio stations, just so you know. There is video somewhere, and I'll have to find it one of these days, when the building got struck and I had to call the fire department because everything, it was just like, okay, things are burning. We should call the fire department to make sure the building's not on fire. Because, yeah, there was burned everything, and you can see, like, black spots where things had arced and jumped, and things are off the air, and radios aren't playing, and TVs aren't working, and equipment's not working, and it's just one of those things. My house got struck by lightning, which was most interesting. I think I've mentioned that before. I was asleep, maybe 10 feet away from where it hit the house. It hit on the roof. I have an old house that's a slate roof, and it blew the slate off where it hit. It shattered a light bulb that was hanging, like a pendant light. Like the bulb exploded, like there was glass everywhere. Because I was like, what the hell? Why is there glass? It fried everything on one of the house. So like the TV, phones, I mean, anything that was on sort of the one side of the house, everything electronic was toast. Printers and copiers and the Wi-Fi and all of it. Just everything got cooked, even though it's all grounded. What is so crazy is that lightning has to come out somewhere, and it did. it came out of my water pipe and it burst my water pipe because it's grounded to your water, because it's in the, but it actually burst the water pipe like 100 feet away out by the street. And I had to have to deal with that. And that required a huge amount of excavating with huge equipment, digging up driveways and excavators. And it was a thing, to say the very least. But yes, lightning can be very, very damaging, as I'm sure you've watched on internet videos of things exploding when they get hit by lightning. But yes, my house got hit by lightning, and the radio station's been hit by lightning. And there's a video somewhere of me watching lightning hit the building when I was standing right there. You can see the flashlights go off, and it was just kind of crazy, and I screamed like, "Holy shit!" Longview, Texas, KLUE. Longview, Texas, get a clue. I love that. I love those call letters. KLUE, get a clue. 1967, the Bonnie and Clyde movie was released with Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. I've seen that one. It's a good one. It's a pretty good one. They were definitely, Warren Beatty was a big sex symbol in the 60s, as was Faye Dunaway. So I'm sure that was, the hot commodity movie to sell some tickets in the summer, get that release going. Now, 1971, Backseat of My Car was released by Paul and Linda McCartney. I don't think I ever heard that song. I played it tonight. I wasn't like, wow, it was a great song. I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure why that was a historic thing. But there wasn't a lot of music history. I try and find the music history first. Just not a lot of music history, not a lot of actor history. I guess we're sort of in that doldrum time. Normally, not a lot of concerts happen now because it's right in between when school starts. Students aren't back yet, to school, wherever. The vacations are ending. So I think it's that tours aren't scheduled for this time of year because of that fact. And a lot of stuff doesn't happen because of that. Except for Soul Festival, which is this weekend. And apparently I'm going to be working it. So I will be at the Soul Festival. If you're in downtown Columbus, you want to go check something out, check out the Soul Festival. I think it's free. It's both Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday. So I'll be working Friday and Saturday. So Friday I should get back for the show in time. Saturday, I don't know, but I'll take my laptop with me. So just in case I have to jump and do the laptop show Saturday night, I'll at least make the continuum to keep doing it. But I'll keep you posted on that one. But Friday and Saturday, Soul Fest, Columbus, Ohio. 1977, Randy Bachman quits Bachman Turner Overdrive, and the band disbands. Because I guess if you're kind of the namesake of the band, Bachman Turner Overdrive, you are Bachman. But if you quit the band, then how do you have just a Turner Overdrive? So I guess that was the end of that. BTO, no mo. In 1977, today was the first test glide of the shuttle. So I think this is when they had it on the top of like a 747 or something, and they kind of released this thing and let it float, let it glide. It basically a big winged brick landing. But I think that's how it happened, that they had on top of like a 747 that, this big old jumbo jet that flew and took it up into the sky and then kind of dropped it and was like, fly, be free. Sort of Mork and Mindy moment, throwing the egg in the air. Fly, be free. But then in 1989, the STS-28 lands. So I don't know if that was the same. That was like the first shuttle. It just says that STS landed. So I don't know. I didn't look. I was like, all right, whatever. That's a really thin connection. I know. I apologize. I didn't find a lot. There wasn't a ton of connections today. It was just a very, very thin day. It's that summer doldrums, I guess. I don't know. 1981 was the last broadcast of the Waltons on CBS. Good night, John Boy. I didn't really never get into the Waltons, so yeah. Two everything. Two Waltons. 1991 on this day, Columbia Records releases Cypress Hill, of the band Cypress Hill. It debuts to immediate success and goes double platinum, selling over 2 million units. That's a good amount. That's a good album too, Cypress Hill, the original Cypress Hill. So 1991, but yeah, 2 million units. But we've talked about that. And that's how many units actually get sold, because the record labels used to sell them. If they went to the record store, they were sold. That didn't mean that they left the record store. Think about that. You could sell 1 million that go out to people, and the record stores could have bought 2 million. They're not going to tell you how many they bought back. That or the million gets dumped in the East River and recycled. I've taken pictures of that recycling with some magazines and sent them to clients because I was like, shit about that. Oh, right, spending all your money advertising, huh? Let me show you this. Oh, I'm horrible, I know. 1996, Microsoft releases Internet Explorer version 3.0. What version are we up to now? I mean, my computer keeps telling me to change to Windows 11 because I'm not going to have support for Windows 10 anymore at some point in the not so distant future. So apparently I'm going to be Windows 11ing it. Who knows? I have way too many computers. There's 3 of them down here, and there's one upstairs on my table, and they're just everywhere. All these laptops. 1997? 1997. South Park debuts on Comedy Central. Was it that long ago? I mean, really? Wow. I was kind of shocked. 97, 2007, 2007. Like, okay, man, that's a long time ago. Who knew? I didn't realize it was that long ago. Anyway, they just, sold for $1.5 billion to Paramount? Good for you, man. Make that cash. Make that money. Well, because think about this. 2019, Viacom and CBS make a merger, and they combined have, $28 billion in revenue? $28 billion. That's not something to laugh at. Yeah, it's just like WALL-E. I watched WALL-E again the other night, just caught some of it. I always find it to be funny. But, that whole, by large, just one big company owns everything. Are we headed that way? Are we headed for one big company owning everything? I feel like we're headed back when it was, Carnegie and Rockefeller and Vanderbilts. You've got the Musks and you got the Bezos and the... We'll see. 2011 was the 25th anniversary of Farm Aid that happened in Kansas City, Kansas, with such performers as Willie Nelson, Dave Matthews, John Cougar Mellencamp, Neil Young, and others. I don't know if I made it to a Farm Aid ever. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. Seen Neil Young, met Neil Young. Seen Willie, not met Willie. Seen John Mellencamp, not met John Mellencamp. I don't know. I'm not sure. Dave Matthews, I definitely have seen Dave Matthews. Met Dave Matthews. I have a picture when Dave Matthews was young, and I was young. He was skinny and really young. I was at the old Vets Memorial that is now gone. That was part of the Big Room Bar, which is now gone. Everything just goes. Time, the apex predator, kills us all eventually. All right, so births today. That was all the stuff. Like I said, not a lot of musically and film wise has been slow. Man, I'm just like scrolling through, like, wow, nothing really happened. There's not a lot of film and music stuff at all that I'm finding. So I'm just gonna have to keep digging. Born on this day, 1655, Johann Christian Denner. He invented the clarinet. I used to play the clarinet. One of those things that, you had to play when you were a kid in a band. Everyone had to be in the band at some point. Played clarinet, and then alto saxophone, tuba, anything I could just blow into. Because I'm full of hot air. There it is. John Lincoln Clem, American general and drummer boy, was born on this day in 1851. The only reason I bring him up because he's from Newark, Ohio. An American general and drummer boy. It said drummer boy. I'm like, what? So, what? What is that? The little drummer boy? I'm confused by what that is. I didn't have time to do any research tonight. I got waylaid because of filet mignon. I'm so sorry. Because I was like, ooh, I'm going to have a delicious dinner and eat slowly as opposed to shoveling a peanut butter and jelly in my mouth. But that was that. So now, this is the only weird connection I found that I could I stretch it to this? Born on this day in 1930 was Don Ho, the Hawaiian singer, who sang Tiny Bubbles in the sea. Tiny Bubbles, Prosecco Day. There it is. That's why it's Prosecco Day, because Don Ho was born on this day, the guy who sang Tiny Bubbles. Stretching it? Thin, I know, anorexically thin. But you gotta find those connections when you can, right? Now, this I found to be funny. 1947, David Hubbins of Spinal Tap. Well, he's not real, so that's a fictional character, I believe. So, okay, I mean, is that how that works? They have fictional characters' birthdays too. I mean, Jean-Luc Picard had a birthday the same day as the actor Patrick Stewart, but it was in the future, like 2137 or something. So that's funny. Now, Rick Parnell, 1951, Spinal Tap as well. 1952, Hewley Thompson of the Outlaws. Green Grass and High Tides Forever. I guess he was also in Skinner when it was not really Leonard Skinner, but he was in the Outlaws. I do remember Green Grass and High Tides Forever. I played that. That's a good song. I like that. I was like, okay, it's a good one. 1959, Danny Bonaduce. Danny Bonaduce. Dante? It said Dante. I'm like, he calls himself Dante? I know he's like, he was Danny of the Partridge Family, and now he's a DJ. He's also kind of, I don't know. I've never met him, but it just seems that I think he had some issues with some substances, and that's probably what the issue is. I think alcohol or substances. I don't know. I just remember that Richard Lewis, the actor and comedian Richard Lewis, went to the Ohio State University, and one time in the yearbook, they put actor, comedian, drunk. Like it's written there, like in an alumni thing, which I was like, holy crap. I was like, really? Like, are there someone like this guy, or man, does that open yourself to, libel, slander, one of those things? Apparently not. But yeah, that was, I guess, before he became sober. But whoa, there you go. Put down what you are there, buddy. Drunk. Also on this day, Bert Lahr, who's the lion in The Wizard of Oz. His picture when I saw, I was like, oh, he looks like someone there he is. I was like, oh, he's the lion from Wizard of Oz. No wonder. Because he's got that smiley face where he kind of looks like he's already smiling from being the lion in The Wizard of Oz. I was like, oh, makes perfect sense. No, who's sending you a text? Because that's what that is. It's not. Usually it's that noisy. It's a text coming in. And I've made some critical error that someone's calling. It's like, you screwed up. That's not correct. Or here's information. I'm not texting or typing you. I'm telling you because of that. Just saying. Also born on this day, Alfred Hitchcock. No, we just talked about that because Psycho was just released a couple days ago. So obviously he released Psycho right before his birthday, which I think a successful movie and a birthday would be great. So, Psycho's a hit. Happy birthday to you. John Slattery. Sorry, I was like, scribbly handwriting. From Mad Men, he's the white-haired guy. Always seen the white-haired guy. But he was also in was The Adjustment Bureau recently. It was a pretty good movie, if I remember correctly. The Adjustment Bureau was kind of funny. I would recall that. And as far as deaths, no real famous deaths. I mean, a couple, I was like, nothing of any note. The only one that I found that was even worth mentioning was Wally Amos, because it is that name connection, because he invented Famous Amos cookies. So he died in 2024, so only last year. Good old Famous Amos. I guess he would turn out to be a really good philanthropist. He had lots of money to help kids. Died of dementia at 88, though. So that's poor Famous Amos. He went out that way. That's all that stuff there. I had a whole page of this. But yeah, nothing really. I skipped over the 40s completely because there's lots of stuff going on in the 40s that we don't really care about. Did I tell you about this? This would be the show that I was the co-star in that you should definitely go check out, and you should make comment about. Because if you make comment about it, then who knows? Maybe they'll pick up another series. And that would be great, because this time I'll be like, hey. Now, I was talking with someone today. I had lunch today at First Watch. Sort of breakfasty, brunchy lunch. I had to go talk to the guy that I'm going to go work. And like I said, I'm going to do Soul Fest this weekend. Soul Fest. But I met with an old coworker who occasionally even visits here. Adjustment Bureau was a great movie. Matt Damon, Emily Blunt. Yes, it was. I thought it was a good movie, wasn't it? Okay. Yeah, I like that movie. I saw it recently. Like I said, I watch these movies and fall asleep. The last things I saw, I just watched something that was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Breacher maybe? That was okay. It was, it was an Arnold movie. Kill them all, let God sort them out, kind of go Arnold. But then I saw something the other night. I have no clue what it was called, though. I don't have a clue what the name of the movie was. I'm going to have to look for it. But it had a little plot twist here and there. It was pretty good. Again, I fell asleep. I had to watch it later. I watched the other part. I'm like, all right, I fell asleep. What was the end part of the movie? Where was I going with this? Oh, so I had lunch at First Watch, and I forgot what the theme was. So the TV's really loud. It's right above me, and it's like thumping, beating music. So I'm like, what is going on upstairs? I have no idea. But yeah, I had an interesting lunch just to catch up on world things because I don't really get out very much anymore for world things. Where's that going? Lost it. Completely lost that train of thought. Sabotage. 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 No, there's no sabotage. We have no sabotage. I don't know what sabotage is. But I forget where I was going. Anyway, just lost it. Completely lost it. It happens. Sorry, I need liquid. Not Liquid Death tonight. A little Propel. I ran a Liquid Death and I did not get to the store to get Liquid Death. So I did not go storing today. But yeah, I totally just spaced on what I was talking about. I hate that. I hate my short-term memory just blank sometimes because it's just too many things going on. Who knows? It's really... Ow! God bless... I should move some of this stuff because since I'm always moving my hands and gesticulating, I crash into things that are above my head or anywhere else in this place. I have not knocked the camera flying yet, which is good. That as you can see now that I turned the camera. Damn it, I didn't turn it on. I thought I turned it on. Okay, it's up here. I'll turn that camera on. The GoPro hanging in the ceiling. All right, is it on now? There it goes. Up now it's going on. GoPro and what is going on? There it is. Go. Yeah, so that's basically taped to a 2x4 that hangs across the pipes on either side because of the steam heat of the house. So it's just basically a 2x4 that's bolted. It's just resting on there, but the GoPro is just zip tied up there. Lunch at First Watch. Yes, lunch. But I don't know where I was going with that. I know I was doing lunch at First Watch, but I just lost the train of thought. There was something I was going to go into, but I totally just veered off. I don't know. But anyway, I not veering off. I had a very good conversation, a fun conversation with a old friend and colleague at First Watch, and just talked about some stuff that might try and do. She's very adept and smart and does a lot of great things. So I'm going to see about maybe doing some fun stuff, trying to do more of this stuff. Other things that I need to expand because again, I'm still trying to find exactly what this is. Because again, I can't get into the political news because it's just so horrible, and I can't get into the world news because it's just so horrible. And I'm just trying to keep everything in a positive note. That's the main part of this, is to try and keep this positive, so that I can, if I can find these connections with things that have happened in the past that are positive things that happen in the present, as opposed to, hey, this is what happened on 19. No, that's happening right this second, and it's terrible. So I don't want to talk about something that happened in 1942 that's happening in 2025. There's lots of those connections. There's way too many, insane amounts of them. But that's not what I want to do. Oh, I did start watching. I saw advertised on Hulu for Alien Earth. I fell asleep watching that last night. But I will definitely, there's the first 2 episodes of it. But I mean, aliens, the whole aliens thing. No one can hear you scream in space. But I guess they're going to be on Earth, which I always thought would be an interesting thing, because the xenomorphs are so big and fast. I mean, they're 8 feet tall, and they're pretty indestructible. They've showed them when they did the one, it was Alien Predator, and they were in the Mayan pyramid under the ice or whatever, but they didn't get out. This time I think they're close to getting out, or maybe they get, I don't know. We'll see. It looked like they were going to crash onto the planet in a spaceship from a research vessel or something. So that'll be interesting. See where they go with this. Because I always thought that'd be interesting. What was the movie? Anyway, there was another movie that had Jake Gyllenhaal, where he Life, maybe it was called Life. I don't know. But anyway, it was an alien creature that crashed on Earth, and they opened the capsule up, but they open it into the ocean, but it doesn't, okay, well, what happens next? I always want to know, well, what happens? Okay, does this thing overtake the Earth? Do we see this apocalyptic something? Is it War of the Worlds? What? I just want to know. I'm curious. Give me the next part. Don't leave me hanging here, people. That's all. So anyway, I don't have any great connections for things tonight. I apologize. Oh, I did go scootering today because I don't have a car. I had a scooter. So I scootered downtown, and then I scootered to the bank, and I scootered to an appointment, scootered to First Watch, and then I scootered home. Took the old little 2-wheel scooter at 20 miles an hour, zipping through traffic, running red lights like a madman, because when there's no cars and I'm just stopped, there's no other cars. I'm like, well, can I just yield? I'm a scooter. I'm going to be like a bicycle. It's kind of like pedal through the intersection. I'm like, yeah, I'll just kind of through the intersection. But yeah, I could GoPro that. That would have been fun. Put a couple of GoPros on that. Put one down low so I can get the ground coverage of my adventures on those things. I definitely see people that should not be scootering on scooters. And I definitely see some people wreck pretty severely. You don't realize that those things, you're going 20 miles an hour, you cannot stop, like jump off of it. The momentum, inertia is a real thing. It's one of those physical laws that we do abide by. So if you go to hit that ground, you're still traveling forward. Momentum's going to carry you forward, and you are going to probably fall and not be able to run out of it at that speed. So most likely you're going to smash your face on the ground. And it's usually going to be concrete because you're driving the street. So yeah, if you are going to get into scooters again, please be careful. They're definitely dangerous. I'm very aware of my own humanity when I'm on those things, because it's like, oh man, watch out, watch the ground and pay attention, because man, you hit a pothole with those little wheels, they're definitely going to be stuck, and you are hitting that ground hard. And I've definitely seen some people, like I said, football Saturdays, where it was Life 2. Yeah, we're supposed to find out in Life 2, but it never happened. Yeah, it was Life, right? Okay. Oh man, there was supposed to be a Life 2. I wanted to know that. See, they never come out with these second episodes. Yes, Life. That was an interesting movie. I liked that one. I mean, it seems very plausible that we would find, I don't know, worms in the permafrost and bring it back to life after 26,000 years or something, and be like, whoa, bro, what are you? No, why are we doing this? Why are you bringing back life that's no longer here? Did no one watch Jurassic Park? Did no one watch Parasite? Did no one watch Species? Did no one watch any of these things where it's like, hello, they're already here. You don't need to bring it back to life. We don't have any natural immunity to these things anymore. Just stop it. Stop it. Put the microscope down and stop it. I have one right here. Look. See? Microscope. I know. Why do I have a microscope? Well, because it's something I wanted. You have to have a microscope, right? Occasionally, you just have to look at stuff. You know, you want to look at a blood cell? It's kind of cool. Look at a drop of water? All right, you find all sorts of... It's like, wait, is that a microplastic? What the hell? Yes, apparently it is. Damn it. It's in all of us. I prefer bicycles. They actually have good brakes. It's true. It's true. Yeah, but then you get all sweaty. If you're going to go to lunch, you don't want to be all sweaty. You know, there's that thing. So I will continue to scooter as scootering goes. Who knows? Anyway, that's just my random day. Tomorrow is Thursday. Holy crap, where did this week go? Tomorrow is Thursday. So Friday I will be doing the Soul Festival as well as Saturday. So Friday, Saturday, Soul Fest. So I'll talk about that tomorrow. And then I'll probably talk about it Friday because I'll have been at it. I'll let you know how it was. Besides that, I don't think I'm going to do anything eventful tomorrow, but I don't know. I just don't have a clue. You don't either, so enjoy your day and enjoy it while you have it. Enjoy your friends and family and say nice things to people because there's way too many not nice people right now. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Deep cleansing breaths, ladies and gentlemen. Deep cleansing breaths. Thank you, friends. As per usual, we will just fade to black. Bicycles. Bicycles. Oh, my. Oh, wait. End stream. End stream. Bye. Bye.